Hey, this is Miss Pike, and I wanted to take a few minutes to go over with you some of the things about Classroom and how mine is set up. I want you to be able to hit the ground running from the beginning and understand what's going on. If you look under the stream, you'll see that my stream is not really where you're going to look for anything other than announcements. So if I'm announcing a test, you might see something on here about that. But you're going to usually go to your classwork section. Under classwork, you'll see we have this up as your assignments. That's where you're going to find everything. And normally I'm just going to say the next Tuesday at 8 a.m. That way you've got all weekend. I know that my internet sometimes goes in and out, and I don't want to leave that as a huge burden on you. So if you need some time on the weekend to finish up some things for me, that's fine. You'll also see there's a vocabulary word list. This is for the entire semester, so you just click on it. It'll bring you into that. You can click here, and you'll see it brings up in sets. So the first set we will test over is set A. You'll see it's broken up into 5 words and 5 more words, and I think this is 6 words without a quick count. But those will be pretty much how they're broken up on the test. So you'll have these, and then these to choose from at one time. There is a multiple choice test, and those tests are announced about a week before the test date. So you will watch in the stream section for an announcement on that, but those are your vocabulary words. Next, you'll see websites. The first website we're working through is the Lab Safety and Scientific Method website, but the one I want to show you first is this under it that says HCMS Academy of Science, because it's going to really be your friend. And if it doesn't come up, you need to make sure that you're signed into Google through your Chromebook. You're not going to be able to do a lot through your phone probably. It's going to have to be through your Chromebook to look at this. But if you're signed in, it should pop up where you're going. I want to show you this because this is pretty cool. You'll find a vocabulary word section again. It's the same sort of thing. You'll find a Quizlet link. All the vocabulary words are broken up here, but you've got this other one that I just showed you, so it will be fine too. You'll also see all of your websites for the entire year are here. So it's all broken up. It's here ready to go. There's my contact info, how you can get a hold of me, my remind code. Please, please, please use this email address a lot to talk to me. I don't want you to feel like just because you're home you're not able to talk to me. And sometimes I remember to put homework assignments here, but most of the time, honestly, I send them in remind anyway, so that's not a big deal. But I did want you to see what this is and what its purpose is. That will help you out some as you go through the year. But the first one we'll be starting on is Lab Safety Scientific Method website. So we're going to click on it. And it's coming up at the home page. These are 2 PowerPoints that I'm kind of going through with the kids about how to act in the classroom. That's up to you if you really want to go through them or not. It don't really matter at this point since you're at home. You can if you want to, though. This one's kind of funny. It's got a lot of memes on it. Let's go back to look at our assignments so you can see what I'm talking about. I need to move that up. There we go. Assignments for week 1. So I'm just going to kind of go through this so you can see how the website works. It tells you the scientific method engagement. Watch the video, and then there's a flip chart for you to work through. So when you open the link to scientific method, you'll see it's broken up into 5 main sections. These are called the 5 E's, and it's how we're supposed to teach you in science. So we always start with our engagement. We'll click here. And it takes you to a page. Here is the video I was talking about watching. And you'll see this is the flip chart. Now, if you saw me during open house and told me you were virtual, you got a packet of stuff. If not, you may just have to print this, and if that doesn't work, you can always copy it in your journal. It is also on here. I mean, at this point, your journal is for you, so if you want to just come back and look at it, that's fine. What I'm instructing my kids to do is take a pair of scissors and cut down through this line right here. Then they're going to cut this way and this way. This tab and this tab are going to stay together. And then the whole thing fits on top of this. This gets glued in the journal straight down. And then once this is cut out properly, you'll cut along the edges too. But leave the tabs connecting this and this. I think you'll see as you start to cut it out. And it's got some directions here of what to do too. But this fits down on top of this. Once these are cut, they make little flaps. So you'll be able to turn it over and there's a blank little part and you'll be able to write on that. So then you come back over here and you'll see it talks about make an observation. So you click on make an observation. It takes you to information about what making observation means and how that's important to the scientific method. It's the same thing for asking a question. Here it is. Pretty self-explanatory. So read over this, take some notes on it, know what they mean. You should be okay on that. Okay, the next section is exploration. This is a brain pop. So if you haven't already, you'll need to go back to your website, your Google Classroom, and it has important information for new students, and it tells you how to sign up for Brain Pop. It gives you some codes at the very bottom. So if you remember your Brain Pop from last year, you can use that same password and code. If you don't, it tells you how to make an account. But you'll start out with the code. You'll type in your code. If you know what block you were supposed to have me, go ahead and use that block's code. It should be on your schedule. If you didn't get a schedule, just pick one. I really don't care because all you need it for is just to be able to get into those videos anyway. Once you get in, if you have trouble, let me know. I'll try to help you to get in on my side. Let's see. Here it is. It's got a video on the scientific process that you're going to watch, and then there are questions for you to write in your journal these answers to. What we're going to do for the first one is we're going to practice restating a question into a question well, you're restating it as an answer pretty much. You're wanting to write your question in your answer. So down here I gave you some examples. You see the first one says state the correct order of the scientific method, and there are 5 answers. So I'll come down here and explain. You're going to start out with something similar to the correct order of the scientific method is blank, 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 and blank. You got to find it in the video. Number 2, Alvarez was studying the magnetic field of these rocks. What observations did he make? And I want to know older rocks versus newer rocks. So your answer might start out something like, while studying the magnetic field of rocks, Alvarez observed blank about older rocks and blank about newer rocks. So I gave you 4 of these that you can practice the first 4, and then you're on your own. You need to figure out how you're going to restate the question and come up with the answer very similar to what I did. All of these should start toward the beginning of the video, and then the last question should be toward the end of the video. Usually with a Brain Pop, I give a Google form for you to fill out, and it'll be the same kind of thing. You'll have questions at the beginning of the video, and then in the video will play through, and the last question would be toward the end of the video. So I'm not trying to trick you up. You don't have to hunt through the whole video. This tool right here is pretty cool, this closed captioning. So let's say that you're looking for an answer and you're wanting to find it pretty fast. So the video's playing. There we go. If you turn on the closed captioning, it can help you find whatever you're looking for. So that's pretty cool. So if you knew you saw it and you're like, oh, I know I saw this answer, you can kind of scroll through and look at the words, and you won't have to watch the whole video over and over and over to find it. So I just wanted to point out, turn that off and on right there, and that you can fast forward and back up if you don't know if you found something. Okay. So that is your engagement and your exploration. So let's see. Go Go back up here to our assignment. I have got the explanation next. It's basically 2 labs. If you can get the M&Ms and the Tootsie Roll Pop, I would love for you to do these labs and print it out or either copy it in your journal. I didn't make it mandatory because, here at school I'm giving them to the students, but I don't know if you're going to have them at home, and I didn't think that was very fair. So if you can get a hold of that, Dollar General, if you have some left over from another time, I would love for you to participate and do that. You can always send me your results through an email, and I'll be glad to see what you did. But we will go on to the next thing. Which is exploration. These are stations that we are doing. And I'm going to work on seeing if I can figure out how to get this in a better format so that you can see it, because right now you would have to be able to log in to this Science Duo, and I think I only have 1 login license. So let me see what I can do on it. I'll get back with you and see. It'll probably be sometime next week before we get into some of this anyway, so it won't be that big a deal. Under evaluation, I've got practice the quizzes at the bottom of the scientific method. These questions will be used on the assessment sometime next week. So we click evaluation. Here we are. And at the very bottom of the evaluation, you see scientific method quizzes. And you can just play it live. I think yours looks a little different than mine. But play it, see what happens. Let me know if you have some problems with it, because I've never tried this over a virtual doing that, but they've have some really good questions and answers on there that'll help you practice your scientific method. So that's everything for this week. Hopefully you see a little bit about how these websites work, and I will see what I can do about getting into this elaboration for you. Up here we have some bell ringers, but for this week we just won't worry about it. Next week we'll see what we can do about getting you started on those. But it's going to be the same thing where it's that Science Duo, and I'll have to figure out how I'm going to get all that to you. But I will get it done. Thanks for watching the video. Please contact me on email if you need something. Talk to you later.